Hello everybody and welcome to a new tutorial. Today I will start a new series of videos in Blender with everyday life objects specially made for beginners, where everything is presented step by step but straight to the point. The first video will be about a coffee table, where we will cover the 3D modeling, adding materials, and of course the final render. If you are an absolute beginner, please check the previous video where you learn all the basics in Blender in just 25 minutes. And I will wait for you here, link in the description. So, let's get started. Before creating our object, first of all, let's delete those things. So, the light and the camera. We will add them later. Now, I will select this cube and I will work with it. So, press the N key and now let's modify it. We should write here 0.6 tab 1.2 tab 0.05 meters. And this one, it will be actually the tabletop. I will bring it up, let's say GZ 0.4 and then press enter. You can also write that value here in this little box. After that, let's create a new cube. So Shift A, Mesh, and go for the cube. Again, press the N letter and we will write 0.05, 0.05 again, and 0.4, enter. To find the vertex now easier, I will go here to the snap and then I will select vertex. Okay. Now I'm able to move it exactly how I want. For example, I will press G, I will start to reach this point, okay, and now I try to place it. So I will go to -Z, okay, and let's say I will put it here, around here, yes, good. For the next step, I will enter into the edit mode, I will select the vertices, so here it is, this one, but I will select only those 4. So you can select it like this, or you can look at it and you can press the toggle X-ray and you can now select it everywhere. Good, let's go back. I'll go now to the Z view and I'll move it with G. Let's say I'll put it somewhere here. To have the same lag, I will go here to the first modifier and I will add a mirror modifier. Of course, I don't want to look like this, so I will pick up first of all the mirroring object, this one it will be, and I will select the X-axis and the Y, and it should look like this. After that, I don't want that my tabletop to have sharp edges. And in order to solve them, I will select this cube, I will go into the edit mode, and I will select just those edges. In order to do that, I will press the number 2, or you can go to this little box, select mode edge. Or if you want to be even much easier, select this little button, toggle X-ray again. And now you will select just these little edges. But don't forget to hold the Shift key. Let's press Ctrl B. Okay, let's say this is enough. Good. And now when it comes to this bevel, I will increase the number of the segments. Let's say around 7 or 6 to be smooth. You can close it. Now I'll bring up a new leg. So in order to do that, Shift A, Mesh, I will add a new cube. I will press the N letter and I will change the dimensions, of course. I'll write 0.04. Tab 0.04 and for example I will let it just with 1 meter. I can modify it later. So first thing first, I will rotate our body. So I will press the R letter with Y axis as a reference and I will press 90 degrees. I will try now to bring it up, let's say around here. I will try to rotate it. Okay. Good. And now I will scale it, but I will scale it only when it comes to X-axis. In order to do that, press S, X, and drag the mouse cursor. Like this, it will be fine. I will make a copy to that object. I will press Shift D, okay, and now I will try to place it properly. So in order to do that and to be, of course, much easier, I will go in the edit mode, okay, I will select again the vertices, go to the X-ray toggle, X view here, and I will try to place it up. So I will just grab it. Okay. If you want, you can also rotate it. And the same thing, I must do it in the other direction as well. In order to don't have it, press escape and press here to snap, so to deactivate. Good, let's go back. Okay. I'll place it, let's say, here. If I want just to move it in the up direction, I'll go G, Z, and I'll put it forward. Okay. Now I will apply the mirror modifier. So I select the cube number 3, add a modifier, mirror. Okay, and look at that. But I need a mirror object, okay, and I will select this cube. I don't want X, I want Y or Z. Okay, and here it is. Of course, I have already a mirror modifier, but I will add another one. So I'll go to mirror again, and for this time, the mirror object, it will be the tabletop, and I want to be on Y. And look at that. The same principle I will apply also with this cube. Mirror modifier. And here it is. For the bottom part now, I will add another cube. So Shift A, mesh, cube, and with the dimensions 0.3, tab, let's say I will let it with 2 meters, why not? And the Z, it will be 0.02. Basically, this one, it will be the thickness. And now, let's scale it. But before doing that, I will raise the level here, just to be exactly in the middle. Let's say around here. Okay, now SY. Okay, and to have much more clear edges, I'll go here, this object, I'll go into the edit mode, I'll press the number 3 to select the surfaces. This one, it will be the first one. I'll press the P letter, selection, I will separate it actually by selection, and now as you see here, this little area has the blue color. So it is basically the cube number 5, which is actually a new component. So I will go out of the edit mode, I will select the cube number 5, okay, and this one actually it is now a plan. So I will extrude it. In order to do that, I will go again into the edit mode, I will select again, extrude, of course, to the x-axis here, but I will extrude only with 0.02. And then press enter. I will go out from the edit mode, and to be even much easier, instead of doing the same thing in the other side as well, I will just duplicate this object, I mean the cube number 5. So Shift D, press X, and I will go in the other direction with 0.32. In our case, it will be minus. And our object should look like this. So basically, we are done with the 3D modeling. Now let's focus on the materials. In this tutorial, I will use just 2 materials. So there are basically 2 types of wood. I will call them wood 1 and wood 2. To add a material, I will select, for example, the first object, in our case this one it will be, and I will go to shading. I will add first of all a noise texture. So noise texture, okay. I will place it here. I must add also a Musgrave texture as well. I will connect them. And here I also need a color ramp. And also here to subsurface color. To this Musgrave texture, I will select it and I will press Ctrl T, and automatically I will have texture coordinates and mapping. They are already connected, but I need just to change some little parts. But first of all, I will zoom in to see the differences. So as you see, I already have another texture, but you will see how it look like in the end. So first of all, I will change a little bit the scale here, maybe around 0.6, Y 9.8, and Z1. To the Musgrave now, the first one, it will be 0.6 and the rest are the same. I will decrease at least the scale here, I will put to 2.1, and the details I will put to 18. And also I will increase the roughness with 0.8 and the distortion too with the same number. I will create a new color ramp. I will place it here and I will connect also to the same factor. But for this time I will change it slightly. Let's say here, something like this. And after that it will go out into an invert color. To have a better control to the roughness. And to have an even better result, I will add also a bump node. I'll place it here, I will connect to normals, and I will write here to strength 0.14. And guess what? I will connect to the same factor here. And for the final step, I'll go here to the first color ramp, because I need to add first of all a new point here, and I will use two colors, actually three colors. So the first one, it will remain here, the second one I'll put it much close, of course, and this one around maybe 0.6 should look fine. For the first one, I'll go full black, double click on this white, okay, and drag this little point until it's black. And here it is. We start already to see something. Now, when it comes to the other two, this one, I'll write here to hex BC632F. Okay, and for the first one, this one, I write now the code FF8944. And our first material is done. In order to rename it, I'll go here to the material properties, and instead of material, I'll name it wood 1. I'll press enter. Now I can go back to the layout mode, and of course, if you want to see something, you must go to the material preview. Now you are able to see much clearer the materials. If I want to apply the same material to another object, I have plenty of options. But if I want just to change the material of one object, by far it will be much easier to go here. So I select the object, I'll go to the material, and here at the material properties, I will select wood 1. And now our object, in our case cube number 4, it will have the same material. But when it comes to the other parts, I want to add the second material. And because they are very related, I will go again to shading. I will select the first part, okay. I will select the entire node scheme here, right click, copy, okay. And I will select another object, for example, cube number 1, and I will create a new material. I will go to new, instead of material again, I will write wood 2, and I will paste it here. These two, I will delete them. And of course, they will have the same material as the previous body. But it's not our case. We'll have here a short edit. The middle point, this one, I will delete it actually. Okay. And I will move the black one. Around here, yes. And also a very important command that you can actually use very often. For example, if you select an object and then you'll go to the material properties, I will select wood 2, for example, in our case, and you have many objects, select all the objects without a material, for example, those one, and don't forget to hold the shift key. This one, not that one, Okay, so as you see, all these objects have not a material. So after that, the last object that you will select, actually, it will be a one with a material. For example, wood 2. And after that, go to the object and then link transfer data, link materials. And here it is. Now you add the material to all the objects. For the next part, we will focus now on the background and the lights. As I told you in my previous tutorial, this is the material preview where we can see actually the material. It incorporates source of light, but when it comes to the render, it is dark. So we need to add the light, we need to add a background and so on. I will set up the camera. So Shift A, camera, and in order to control it better, I'll press N again, I'll go to view and I will check this little box, camera to view. And now when I hit this little symbol, the camera, and I zoom out, I can use it like I navigate in a 3D scene. Okay, let's say I will let it like this. But now to be our work even much easier, I will split the screen, right click, vertical split. I'll put it here. I'll drag this because I need the render preview. And this one I can go back to solid preview. I'll go out from the camera. I'll add a plan. Mesh plan. Okay. I'll place it slightly under our coffee table. GZ. Okay, you can zoom in. Good. Now I will scale it. I'll go to the edit mode now. I'll press the number 2. I will select this edge. I will extrude it. E and Z. Okay, let's say something like this. Now I'll go out. I will select the entire object and I will scale it on a Y axis. So SY. Okay, as you see, not to be seen this part. Here, I don't want to be an edge, so I'll go again to edit mode. I will select this edge and I will bevel it. So Control B, let's say like this. I'll increase the number of segments again. Should be enough. Okay, and now I will shade smooth. Right click, shade smooth. Good. And now I'll add the lights actually. Shift A. Light, and I'll go to area for this time. I'll raise it up, and as you see here in this part, I can see how will be my render. So first of all, I will make the light stronger, like 50 watts. Okay. Let's say like here, good. But I also to have more angles for my light. So I'll go up. Okay, I'll duplicate X, Shift D, and then X, and the same thing here, Shift D to duplicate, and Y for this time. Okay, you can move it again if you want. And now I will rotate it, for example, this one. And you can clearly see here what I will do. Okay. And when it comes to the other one, I will do basically the same thing. So I will select it, X, and I'll rotate it. Now let's join again the areas. Right click, join areas, and go for that one. Good. And now we are ready to render. To do some last settings, I'll go here, render engine, go for cycles, GPU compute. Okay, and max samples, you can go with 2000, maybe it is enough. And when it comes to seconds, let's write 10 minutes. After that, you are ready to go. Go to the render, render image, and now you must wait until your render, it will be done. And after you render it, image, save as. For example, let's write coffee table, save as image, and here it is. After that, you can close this window. I hope this video helped you learn more about the program, and don't hesitate to collaborate with me. Any service is just a click away. And if you have questions, leave them in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and see you next time.